Hi everybody, I wanted to share this simple chicken dinner solo win on Erangel with you because it kind of highlights the adage in PUBG that one of the ways you can win is simply by not dying. I know that sounds pretty obvious, of course, but what I mean is if you just do things that mean you're less likely to get shot by the other players, then you may well find yourself in a winning position, as I do in this particular game. So it's a northwest to southeast flight path. I go down the west coast, and as you can see, the circle kind of goes back to where the flight path was, with the river in between it. So at this point, the next circle can either go north or south of the river. You see that? And that's quite an important distinction. And then the next circle appears, and that straddles the river too. And this is even worse because the circle's pretty small. At that point in the game, where you can see there with that circle, whether it goes north or south of the river really matters. Now, you can actually work out from here that it can't go north of the river, so it has to go south of the river. So in order to stay alive, I make the decision, I've got to take the bike and I've got to get into the sunken town and just hide. And that's what I do. I've got fairly okay kit, but then you'll see when the next circle appears, it's on my side of the river, but it's moved further away, sort of in between Roshook and the sunken river. It's like, what do you do next? How do I stay alive? So initially I think, well, I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll make my way out on foot. But as I open the door and start to go out, I can hear lots of gunfire, and I realise, people are going to be fighting around that compound in front of me. So I think, okay, so where's the safest place going to be? So I think I've got to take the bike and I've got to head to the bank. There's going to be people there because we've still got 12 people alive, but as long as I can find somewhere safe to get off the bike, which is smoking as you can see, then maybe I've got a chance of just staying alive. What's also happened in this game, which I haven't shown you, but I was having trouble with my PlayStation controller. Look at all these vehicles, I'm taking loads of fire from everywhere. With stick drift, so half the time earlier on in the game I was simply messing around with the controls. Now I decide this rock looks good, but there's that chap up there at that rock. There he is. So I give him a bit of grief, and I'm right on the edge of the next circle. I'm very nervous about this chap in front of me, so we kind of have a little bit of a grenade off here where we're lobbing grenades. I managed to fire my gun by mistake there, give away my position terribly. So lob a couple of grenades at him, he loads a grenade back at me, I lob a Molotov at him. Don't get any kills, but if you look at the kill counter in the top right corner, you'll see that merrily while I'm doing this, everybody else is killing each other. Now that guy might actually even is he dead at the moment? I think he's still there, so I throw a Molotov, but at some point he dies. That he may have just died then to the guy with the M24. Now we've got 40 seconds until the next circle comes in. I've dropped a dot just in the middle of where that circle is, which is that way, sort of behind me. And all I'm thinking about now is, where is the cover? How can I stay alive? I've got an M16 with a 3x, I think, on, yeah, and I've got a AK with a red dot on. So I've seen those rocks behind me near the river. I'm still nervous that people are going to be coming that way, so I'm keeping an eye on that. So I'm just thinking, now all of a sudden we're down to 4 people. What's going on? 4 people left alive. The circle's coming in, so I think that guy's still to my left. So I decide to throw a smoke there to either distract him, but also to block his view a little bit. Then I make my way to this rock, which isn't in, unfortunately. So I stay here for a second or two. Then I know I need to make my way to the next rock, and that one by the river looks tempting. And we're down to the last 3 now. I'm like, ooh, and I haven't noticed this, to be honest, but I can see that I'm not quite in. So I'm still thinking that guy's behind me. So I kind of stand here. I can see the guy in the distance. He hits me. Not very nice. I've got to move in. I've got to move to this rock and get cover. So now I can use my med. 3 people left alive now. And then he's hit somebody else. So all of a sudden we're down to the last 2. And I didn't even realise this was happening. So I know there's me and there's this guy who's up by those trees in front of me. So I think, ooh, what am I going to do? How am I going to stay alive? Well, no, if I just go up there, he's going to see me coming, he's going to black me with his secondary or even get me with a headshot with the AWM. So I think, right, okay, so what I need to do is, circle around. He knows where I am, so if I can change his perception of where I am, in other words, make it wrong, hopefully he'll be looking in the wrong direction and he won't get a chance to headshot me. Now there's a little dip in front of me now. You see that sort of where it sort of dips away? So I make my way there, again just trying to stay alive. Then I move up to this rock here. And, you know, I'm going to kill the guy in a minute as he tries to throw something at me rather sillily. Work out where he is. Right, he's at that tree. Just there you go. I can see him now. He's not a particularly good shot because he hasn't hit me again. So I think, right, let's push up to this rock. Let's get safe because he might not be in at this point. And let's see what happens. But again, he goes to throw something at me. I blat him with the M16. A totally unexpected win, and just showing, you know, sometimes in a game, no matter what else is happening, if you can just keep yourself alive, you may well get yourself into a winning position. Anyway, that's it from me. I'll see you again soon.